it has become customary, particularly in this Fourth Republic, to the chagrin of the whole world, where democracy, is being practiced by, it's being played by decent men, because it's a sport, sort of. Everyone who goes into a football contest or lawn tennis contest or basketball, you're going into a contest, there will be a winner, there will be a loser. Why should our electoral contest always end up in court? It's an anomaly, isn't it? That's one. Secondly, why is the National Assembly taking us back, to pre-2015, when President Jonathan, in trying to vote in Otueke, Bayelsa State, the card reader could not read his card. He had to vote manually. And then there were all kinds of issues and all of that. Because in 2023 elections, if my memory serves me right, we had almost 90-something%, 95, 96% success rate with the electronic transmission of...
First instance success rate. At the end of the day, we had 100% success rate.
So why are they, interested, invested heavily in taking us back to the dark days? Please.
The problem is this. The people who are in National Assembly don't know the import of the place. It's just a political vocation for them where they can claim privileges and where they can trade away their privileges and duties for favor, and where the whole essence is about themselves. So you will have seen that not only in lawmaking for elections, records from them and occasional outbursts in their own sessions shows to you that where they are to do oversight, they put their self-interest first. Where they are to supervise contracts and check that procurement is done according to the law, they put their own interest first. They become the contractors. Where they are to do appropriation, they write their own personal projects and proposals and businesses and into the contract. So they are self-serving from time, and they are used to it like that. Now, they just didn't know the limit of where they needed to stop before the republic itself will be unwittingly or wittingly set on fire by them. Because the powers exercised by the National Assembly members are so enormous, because they are the aggregation of the sovereign will of all Nigerians. And they ought to do it, to exercise such functions with caution, and to look at the Constitution to know the reason why we set for ourselves a republic, and we have a Constitution, and we set a National Assembly for ourselves. So they've lost total consciousness regarding that. So as far as they are concerned now, they see themselves as mercenaries who can be paid money to pass bills, to delete clauses, to add to it, to alter bills that are already past conference, and forge signatures, forge the tests to suit diabolical and personal interests. And this baptism of fire that they are having now should be sustained. It is not only with respect to the Electoral Act that Nigerians should have vigilance in the National Assembly. Virtually every business conducted in the National Assembly should be scrutinized. And many groups, professional groups, regional association, local association, NGO, must from time to time apply to the National Assembly to sit in the gallery. That's why the gallery is there, to see what they are doing. And for every political party and every NGO should have its legislative liaison who will be monitoring things they are doing. They are mutilating the law, and they are vandalizing the jurisprudence. That is why judges who are bound to just interpret the laws passed sometimes are left in a quandary. Because, for example, however laudable the card reader was, and the Beavers is now, and the IRF, the jurisprudence of Nigeria is that the court should pay the highest attention and primacy to what is contained in the Constitution. Next in rank is what is contained in the Act.
Electoral Act.
Yes, in the Act of National Assembly.
Okay.
So, administrative rules, such as INEC regulations and other institutional regulations, are just meant to implement what is contained in the Electoral Act. So it is left for INEC to make regulations to ensure that their personnel have access to bandwidth all the time, what they are going to do in case there's a delay in transmission. It is up for National Assembly to legislate such a failed scenario into the law. And in any case, the design of the beavers is such that once you send the message, you can recall it, and it will perpetually be looking for how to transmit. So there is no reason for the National Assembly to dabble into that scenario at all. Secondly, the Electoral Act is read in conjunction with other acts of National Assembly, including the Evidence Act, including the Interpretation Act, which means that we all know, without them injecting confusion into it now, that the election result given to a party agent or the police or any law enforcement agent by INEC or the one kept by the INEC official, they are primary documents of the results. So what the IREF is doing is to free us from having to compare results. I bring my own, you bring your own. Because everybody has an audited center where you can see it. Secondly, it eliminates mutilation. Thirdly, it leaves no room for you to go to the collation center at the ward level, switch the original result, write a new one to justify whatever number you have cooked. So even if you are a corrupt party agent, once the result has been transferred to IRF, if you collect money and go and try to give a fake one to your party, they already seen the original one on IRF. It also saves costs for other political parties who are not in government or who are not interested in stealing government money to do elections, who just want to run elections of citizens. They don't need to do anything complex. They just have a small situation room where they carry a computer and they can be receiving the IRF results, and it will also significantly reduce litigation because you can see in real time or almost immediately, yeah, you know that, okay, we lost here. Simple as that.